The following podcast contains mature subject matter, adult themes, and may also contain profanity. You have been warned.
Well, hello everyone. Hello. Oh my god. What's that? It's a giggling ghost.
It's a giggling ghost. Yeah.
They're the worst kind of ghost. Welcome everyone. Welcome back to the absurd. It's Halloween almost.
Yay.
This is the second of our Halloween sort of themed, if you will. Not really themed, but we're taking a focus. We're doing it scary, like up in here.
Up in here?
Yeah.
Up in here.
You heard me. Hi, Mel.
Hi, Rod.
How are you?
Good.
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 Was that a real ghost, or was that you making those sounds?
That was a real one.
Oh my
I
god.
brought it in with me.
Did you?
Yeah. Smuggled him in my purse.
Oh.
Yeah. His name is Frank.
His name's Frank?
Yeah. Frank the ghost.
Frank the ghost. It's not very scary sounding.
No. Just wait.
Is he scary?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so how are things? It's a very great, well, actually, there's remnants of sun out.
Yep.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's trying.
Too bad.
It's
Go
sticky.
away,
I
son.
don't like it. I'm over it. Go away.
Go away, son.
It was really dark this morning.
I know, it was awesome. And it was thundering like crazy.
Yeah? Oh, I couldn't hear that.
No, of course you couldn't. Because you were in the bowels of the beast.
I was in the office. Womp womp.
Yeah, it was really dark. And it rained like very rainy.
Rained very rainy.
Yes, it
Wow.
rained very hard at times. But the thunder was awesome. And I don't think, like, typically we don't get thunderstorms this time of year.
No.
So, yeah, I guess.
missed out.
Viva la climate change. It adds to the Halloween experience, I suppose.
Yes. Did you get to enjoy said thunderstorm or?
I did, yeah. When I was around here this morning, and then I had to go out of town, like I said, for the day. And I heard it en route in the midst of all the rain.
Because I know you like to watch your scary movies in thunderstorms.
I do.
Yeah.
Have you watched any scary movies yet this season?
I have.
What did you watch?
Well, I had to watch Insidious again because that's my favorite Halloween movie.
Is that the one where the guy finds like the box of like video or film?
No, that is Sinister.
Oh yeah.
I have also just watched that one too.
Right. Okay.
Yes, that one is also good.
It is good, except I don't like the ending.
Yeah.
Insidious. What happens in that one again? Like, no spoilers, but what's the main theme?
Scary stuff.
Oh God, really?
Yeah.
Wow, what a weird.
Yeah. Just watch it. It's good.
No, I've watched it already. I don't know. Has it got like 3 parts, or is it like
Yeah.
Insidious 2, 3, 4, 5?
Yeah, there's 3.
I think I've seen the other ones too.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you what the other ones are.
Oh, you could tell me.
Oh, no, I can't.
Why?
Because I don't remember.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just holding out, or like there's some classified thing. I watched 2 movies on Sunday.
Did you?
One was on Amazon Prime called Hell House, and that title has been done a number of times over the decades in scary movies. But this one's about a group of youngish people who they rent an old property every year, and they convert it into like a haunted house tour, right?
Cool.
To make money.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was pretty cool. This one doesn't go well. It goes very poorly, you might say. So I definitely recommend it.
Okay.
Absolutely. I then watched Midsummer, which undoubtedly some of the people listening have seen themselves. I'm also equally sure that many of them like it because it's been hard recommended to me.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's also on Prime. It's really weird, very weird, definitely unsettling, even creepy at times. I don't know that I would call it scary, though. Did you see Hereditary?
Yes.
I think this is the same writer, director, whatever.
Okay.
I liked Hereditary better. I thought it was scarier.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't regret watching Midsommar. But yeah, man. And then Kara recommended I watch the movie Smile.
Oh yeah.
Which I haven't. It was on my list to do on Sunday. Anyway, I didn't get to it, so I'm gonna watch it. Who cares? That's a siren coming for Frank, the ghost.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it either tonight or tomorrow night.
It's good.
Is
it's
it?
Good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that one. I'm not going to give it away, but there's
please.
one part where I was not expecting the jump scare, and then, that's when it gets you.
Oh, good.
And I just about crap myself.
Wow. Let's do hope it doesn't come to that.
So we'll discuss after you've watched it to see if that same spot got you.
Okay.
Smile 2 is in theater right now.
Yeah, I saw that. My nephew's actually going to see it tonight in London.
I really want to go. I want to go see
he's
it.
probably left already, so you can't.
Well, no, I don't want to go with him.
Oh,
I don't know him.
Well, he's a nice guy.
I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is.
Actually, you met him at the hockey game.
Oh, yes, of course.
Anyway, so Halloween, your kids are going to go out, I presume?
Yes, they are.
What are they going to dress up as?
My daughter's going to be Little Red Riding Hood.
Nice.
And my son, I don't know what you want to call it. It's some sort of being.
I like beings.
And it's an all black suit.
I'm less liking it. Sounds scary.
It's like a big onesie.
Okay.
And it even has the hands, the feet, everything, which is great because then he won't lose pieces. And the fingers are really long.
Uh-huh.
And it's got a black mask with glowing eyes underneath it.
Wow.
So there's like an extra attachment he has to put on, obviously charged, but the eyes blink red.
Cool.
So he's just all black.
So he's just going for
eyes.
scares.
He's going for scares.
I like it.
Yeah.
I applaud the hell out of that.
Yeah. He wanted to be Deadpool.
I don't really know what that means.
But we could not find that costume anywhere.
Yeah,
it's
not
very
surprised.
popular this year.
No doubt.
I don't know why Deadpool. It's not like he's ever seen the movies, but...
Is there... there's got to be some spirit stores around, isn't there?
Yeah, we went to one.
Where?
In up on the boardwalk. There's one up
okay.
there, but there's also one out Sports World way as well.
Right. It used to be, the gym across the street.
Mm-hmm.
That used to be one.
Okay.
Sometimes.
I enjoy that store. It's very entertaining because they have all the animatronics going and,
wow.
Try to get Liam to go up and touch them all.
And you're going to a hospital thing to visit kids in a hospital.
Yes.
What are you going to dress up as?
Cornhole.
What does that mean? Like you're going to be a giant anus?
A giant anus? Is that what you said?
Well, yeah.
No.
Thank God.
I'm not Cornholio.
Okay.
I am Cornholio.
I know what you mean.
TP for my bunghole.
I know what you mean.
No, not that kind.
Okay. What is it?
It's a actual, so picture a cornhole game.
Uh-huh.
So it's on the front of this big costume,
Yeah.
and it actually has the hole for it, and it comes with the bean bags and everything. So you could actually play.
Mm-hmm. I have questions and statements that I want to make, but I'm not going to do it here.
I should have wore it to the office today.
Yeah, no.
I really should have. But anyways.
Well, that's awesome.
Yes, it's going to be good. We're handing out gifts to the kids there that
Cool.
can't go out trick-or-treating this year. So
Excellent.
we're all going to show, well, not all of us, but a group of us are going to go dressed up and hand out stuffed animals and treats.
That's
and
awesome, man.
try and make their day.
I like it.
Yeah.
Me like very much. All right. Well, we're going to get down to the meat of the act.
Let's get down to business.
Mel's been making up songs all day. It's weird, dude. You got something for us?
Yeah, well, since we're talking Halloween,
We are.
let's talk about some Halloween monsters.
I like monsters.
Like,
except when I don't, which is almost
Wow,
always.
you were wearing those headphones the whole time.
Why don't you... you should continue on with your story. Hey, vey.
Yes, so it's a list of monsters that are pretty popular at Halloween time. But Halloween, do you know where Halloween came from? I think we talked about this the other day. You seem to know a bit about it.
I think if memory serves, it comes from the Celts.
Yes.
And I think I'm going to pronounce this wrong because I recently learned how to pronounce it correctly, but it's Samhain is the night in question.
Right.
And may I say one more thing that I think I know about it?
Yes, please.
I think it's believed that on that night, the veil between the worlds of the living and the worlds of the deceased is at its thinnest.
Correct.
So there can be some movement within.
Correct.
Across the veil.
Because their New Year's used to be November 1st.
That's right.
So October 31st obviously was the night where they felt like that was going to happen.
Right.
So they would have a bonfire and a big festival, and they wore costumes to ward off evil spirits and the ghosts of the long departed.
Wow.
So that's kind of how it started.
So if you were short departed, you didn't get to go?
Maybe not.
That sucks.
Maybe not.
All right. Well,
But yeah.
Let us.
So
let's
obviously
go.
it's, changed a lot over the years, but
Unquestionably.
Here
But it
we
was
are.
never meant to. It was, this idea that, held by some ultra conservative religious types on any religion, that it was somehow a satanic holiday where they sacrifice people. is
yeah,
crap. Never happened.
I know.
It was meant to be more of an honor of the dead.
Sure.
you
Yeah,
know,
it was. Yeah.
Which is, how can that be a bad thing? You
I
know?
love Halloween. I think it's
Yeah,
great.
so do I.
I love it. It's a lot of fun.
Yep. All right. Lay it on us.
All right. So the first one is Frankenstein.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
But wait a second. Did
But
you
wait.
just commit a linguistic error?
What?
All right.
What?
Who is Frankenstein?
What do you mean, who is Frankenstein?
Who is Frankenstein?
This is a big creepy monster.
No.
Okay. Enlighten
That's
me.
Frankenstein's monster. Frankenstein
Is the doctor
scientist
or the
who
okay.
created him.
Well, there you go. See, I
I'm
didn't even know that.
I'm going to have to talk to your parents about some remedial work after class every day. No, sorry, just continue. My
Okay. Brought to life by author Mary Shelley
Yes.
in 1818. That's a long time ago.
Sure is.
She was heavily influenced by her parents, who were both famous authors. It was on a trip to France. She was housebound with there was extreme weather happening outside.
Kind of like this morning.
Kind of like this morning. So she entered a writing contest for something to do. And at the age of 18, she won with the creation of Frankenstein. The mythical monster was said to have been inspired in part by trauma and loss in Shelley's personal life. The daughter of a philosopher and feminist, Shelley eloped with an already married poet at the age of 17. The couple bore a premature child who died shortly after birth. Soon after, Shelley's half-sister committed suicide, along with her husband's first wife, who killed herself a few months later. Maybe it's because she took off with her husband.
I'm kidding.
So they think she was just in her crazy mind, if you want to use that term. She came up with this story. So anyway, there's a little backstory on Frankenstein.
Wasn't her husband Percy Shelley?
Yeah, that's correct.
Like the writer?
Yes.
Huh.
Yes.
Yeah, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, have you ever read
Yes.
that book?
No, I have not.
You should. It's not a big
Yeah.
book. It's good, but it's
Okay.
more sad than scary.
Is it?
Yeah, because
That's what I've heard.
Because the monster, he's not looking to he doesn't come
He
back
just wants
evil.
love.
Right.
Yeah.
And of course, because of his appearance and his size and the
Mm-hmm.
way he moves, everybody's afraid of him, except for this blind man and a little girl who plays with him.
Okay.
I'm not telling you anything more.
All right.
Have you ever seen the movie Young Frankenstein?
No. No.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that one.
No, it's fantastic. Classic. Everybody out there who knows what I'm talking about, I'll give Mel's personal email at the end of the show,
Yeah, sure you will.
and you write her and tell her she should watch Young Frankenstein. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
What
Whatever.
else you got?
Vampires.
Okay.
Of course, we have to talk about vampires.
Women love vampires. Never understood why. Really. I don't really get why they hate spiders so much.
Dating back centuries, the idea of undead monsters who prey on the blood of unsuspecting innocents first took hold in Eastern Europe. That said, interestingly enough, almost every culture in history has folklore surrounding creatures of the night who crawl out of graves in search of humans to feast upon.
That's right.
The first known book to popularize the myth is John William Polidori's. Polidori's, yeah, sure. The Vampire, which gave the creature its enduring moniker back in 1819. Nearly 80 years later, Bram Stoker penned the classic novel Dracula. That was good.
I have not read it.
I have read that. And I've seen many movies on it.
No doubt.
It's interesting. So anyway, yeah, Dracula, cementing our modern day notion of vampires forever.
But it's interesting, like you said, almost all countries have similar type folklore.
Yes.
Prior to Stoker's Dracula, the vampires weren't considered sexy.
No, it wasn't until 1931 when it was Bela Lugosi.
Yeah.
Their portrayal of Dracula. That's the one that started romanticizing the
and
idea.
Dracula's book.
Yes.
Stoker's book, of course.
Yeah.
But no, prior for that, they're just super repulsive.
Yeah.
Hideous-looking creatures.
There's one, 28 Days Later. Have you seen that one? And it's about...
28 Days Later or 30 Days of Night? Because 28 Days Later is like the...
Oh, yeah, no. It's like that one movie, 30 Days of Night. Have you ever seen that one?
No, I know of it, but I've never seen it.
Man, that's a good one.
Really?
So they're vampires, but they're like, as vampires in my mind should be, not, all romantic and stuff.
So some of them are hideous.
Yeah.
Right.
And they run really fast and they chase after you, and it's really interesting. I remember one scene in particular where there's your lead head vampire guy,
Sure.
and he catches one of the girls, and she's like looking up at him, and she goes, "Oh God," and he looks at her and goes, "No God." And I was like, man, it just...
No God here.
Yeah. It just put chills right through me. I was like, oh, man. And then she died. But
she died well.
Plot killer.
I remember that because I was in the commercial for the movie.
Yeah.
That line.
Oh, I really enjoyed that one.
Do you know what else I like for vampires? Are the Blade movies.
Oh, yeah.
I love them.
Yeah, I like that soundtrack.
Yeah, those soundtrack is cool for sure. There's 3 different Blade movies.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, dude.
I probably only saw the first one, but...
Jessica Biel's in the last one.
Oh, yeah.
Sold.
Done. Sign me up.
Okay, so vampires.
Yeah. All right. And, we can't go without talking about witches.
No. These are my favorites.
Are they? Witches?
Yeah, I like witches.
Oh, okay. Along with being one of the most popular Halloween costumes for kids and adults, their imagery and likeliness can be found just about everywhere during the spooky season. But contrary to popular belief, witches are far more than broomstick riders and cauldron cookers. Cauldron cookers. There you go.
Yeah.
In fact, witches and witchcraft are part of a much broader form of paganism, and many of our pop culture perceptions around those who practice it are seeped in misinformation and outdated folklore. Despite what you see in the media, witchcraft has been around for hundreds of years and revolves around a set of spiritual beliefs grounded in the natural world.
That's right.
Those who practice it embrace Wiccanism, magic, and often celebrate Earth cycles and seasons.
Yeah, and their adage is, do what thou wilt, but harm no other. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's cool.
It is cool.
It's essentially the golden rule.
Yes.
And witch movies. Well, number one for me has to be The Witch. It's spelled The Vitch, 2 V's.
Yes, so I still have that in my list. You mentioned it before, and
I love it.
I have not watched it yet.
There's a couple of, there's definitely a couple of jump scares, but not much. It's mostly atmospheric, and it's...
Right. But that's my favorite kind of movies.
Me too.
I like that.
Because that takes clever writing. Jump scares, I appreciate them, but they're easy to write.
Yeah.
And it's interesting in this movie, it took some heat for this from some lesser-minded people, that they use ye olde English in the movie. Put on your subtitles then.
Yeah.
But it's cool because it's set in 17th century.
Right.
What do you want? Hip hop talk?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For shizzle.
Yeah. Like, that doesn't work, dummies. Mm-hmm. Witches are cool.
It's hard to find a good witch movie, though, because a lot of them, I find them really cheesy and really, like, I'm trying to, what's that one? Hocus Pocus. Remember that?
I haven't seen
I've never seen it.
Isn't it a kid's movie?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I think so.
No idea.
And there's another one that Shannon Doherty was in. There was another, they were like a group of witches. I've never seen that one either.
The Craft.
The Craft.
Is that The Craft?
It could have been. I don't know.
Didn't she die?
She did.
Okay, well, I take back my laugh then.
Yeah.
For being a witch. Yeah, that's a good question, actually, to look up movies that...
yeah, that one's never really fascinated me with witches, but...
Well, of course, and it's slightly comedic, but there's The Witches of Eastwick.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fantastic movie. Any other evil, scary creatures?
There's lots of them.
Let's go. Let's have them. Yeah.
My favorite, zombies.
Oh, yeah?
That one is definitely my favorite.
Yeah, they're weird. Zombies are very hot right now.
Yeah.
You know, have been for a while. People like zombies.
But where do they stem from? Do you know?
Haiti, the practitioners of voodoo, and
you should go on Jeopardy, man. You got all the answers.
Santeria. But there's actually a great movie, somewhat based in truth, about a Canadian doctor who went to Haiti to investigate the medications they use. Because there are obviously no... Oh, sorry, spoiler, there are no zombies.
Right.
But the idea of zombies within that culture...
Yes.
They use some sort of like anesthetic type approach. And this guy went down to explore what plants or whatever they used to make this. The movie's called The Serpent and the Rainbow. It's good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good, man. Telling you. So yeah, but zombies, they're kind of scary. Actually, they're really
I like
terrifying.
all the different types of stories of zombies. Like, I know they're all pretty much the same, but you get, Walking Dead. I'm obviously a big Walking Dead fan.
Right.
So they're a little bit slower and they take their time, but then you get like, what's that one?
28 days later. They're not actual zombies.
Yeah.
But they're zombie-esque.
Yes.
And they move
World
fast.
War Z? Is
Yes.
that the one?
Yeah,
And they run?
Yep. Same one, yep.
That one's scary.
But
I
then
enjoyed
there's
that one too.
The classic Night of the Living Dead.
Yes.
I think that's the first one.
Evil Dead.
That's not really zombies, that's demons.
Is it?
But I do love that movie.
Yeah,
that
was good.
Night of the Living Dead has a great... I just quoted that to somebody the other night when they're in the cemetery. The brother and sister. And she's putting flowers on their mother's tomb and they're having an argument. And then off in the distance you can see a couple of people sort of walking around. And the brother's bugging his sister and he's like, "They're coming to get you, Barbara." Well... They are, in fact.
Are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's super
I watched that a
creepy.
long time ago.
And then they remade it. The
that
remake is also quite good.
Is it?
Yep.
Wow, that usually doesn't happen.
There's a Canadian one. Is it Dawn of the Dead with Sarah Polley? Do you know Sarah Polley?
Yeah.
And it's all filmed in like GTA, like Mississauga. It's good. It's a damn good movie. Yeah, but I'll sell you my list of movies later.
Okay.
Hey, zombies. Yeah, zombies. Woo.
All right. So it's all traced back to voodoo, but like Voudou, not
Voodoo.
Voudou.
Yeah.
It likely comes from somewhere in West Africa when it arrived with enslaved people on the coasts of Haiti. There, a religion that meshes the Catholic religion and West African beliefs called voodoo was born.
Right.
And so was the zombie. A voodoo priest or sorcerer called a Bakor was said to perform rituals that could reanimate the dead and create zombies.
Huh.
Like Haiti, the creolized religion of voodoo arrived on U.S. shores with enslaved people, and so did stories about zombies. These stories frightened enslavers and eventually made their way into American popular literature and film.
Cool.
So they're real.
Yeah, of course they are.
How many more? Do you want some more?
Of course I want more.
Okay. We'll do a couple more.
All right.
The Grim Reaper.
Ooh, yeah.
The origin of the Grim Reaper is almost as scary as the monster itself, and dates back to the Middle Ages when one of the deadliest plagues in history killed off nearly 1/3 of the Earth's population.
Yep.
What were you going to say?
Nothing.
Okay. During the Black Death, a plague that swept across Europe in the 14th century, killed hundreds of thousands of people. There arose imagery of a figure cloaked in black mourning robe, often with a skeletal face and carrying a scythe. Mm-hmm. During that dark period, art form meant death, and the personifications of death that permeated Europe as scores of people suffered and died from the plague. The black cloak of Grim Reaper is a robe of mourning. It is also similar to the dark robes frequently worn by the monks who oversaw deathbeds, rites, and funerals.
Yeah, sure.
The scythe is a tool used to harvest crops, just as the Grim Reaper must harvest souls. And of course, this Reaper is a skeleton because skeletons are representation of death.
Yes, indeed.
There you go.
I have a great Grim Reaper costume.
Do you?
I do.
I like those costumes too. They're so easy too, right?
Yeah.
Just throw it over your face and go.
Wow. Goes over my whole body.
Well, yes. Just your face.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Yeah, it's the pornographic Grim Reaper.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about we talk about werewolves?
Yeah, I'd never believed in these.
No, me neither.
Can I tell you a joke first?
Yes, you may.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Ah.
Who?
Werewolves of London.
Werewolves. Half man, half canine.
Okay.
Werewolves have been around for centuries, at least in folklore anyway.
No.
While stories of shapeshifters have circulated in every culture throughout history, including the Greeks, the werewolf, as we know it today, has its roots firmly planted in the movie The Wolfman. Portraying the tortured monster, actor John Candy Jr. set the bar for all werewolves and werewolf movies that followed in the 1941 film. Many of the things we associate with modern-day werewolves comes from the iconic movie, including the notion that the monsters can only be killed by a silver bullet and the visual of werewolves howling at the moon.
Yeah. Lycanthropy.
Like Teen Wolf.
I've not seen Teen Wolf.
I loved Teen Wolf.
Oh my god.
As a kid, obviously.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, also there are some...
Those are the biggies.
Those are the biggies.
Yeah, which is your favorite of the bunch? Zombies?
Zombies.
No.
Yeah. I dig zombies.
Witches would be mine.
Witches?
Yep.
What do you got?
You know, if they're cute witches.
As opposed to the... Don't they all have warts and big noses?
No.
Okay.
That's a stereotype. A bad, wrong, horrible stereotype.
Okay.
Yes, I do have something.
I can't wait.
Can't you? You're going to have to wait at least a couple more seconds. Now, you're an omnivore. Yes, you eat fruit, vegetable, meats.
I do.
Have you ever eaten another person?
Can't say I have.
Would you?
No.
Not even, like, if you were, your cruise ship went down and you were marooned on an island with other people, and one of them was very hurt and passed away, and you guys had no other food. Would you then?
I don't know.
Yes, you would. I think so.
Maybe.
And I wouldn't fault you. But this is different.
Okay.
A cannibal restaurant was uncovered after police found 8 severed human ears in a cooking pot. I don't think I'd like to eat the ears. Sounds kind of chewy. The chilling network of human flesh eaters was exposed after the disappearance of young mother Zanail Hachashwea.
Wow. That's a mouthful.
Who was 25 in South Africa in 2007. Nino Mbatha, age 33, a self-styled traditional healer, handed himself in at a police station carrying a bag of body parts and confessed to being tired of eating human flesh. Detectives at first did not believe the healer, known as Mohonevuya. No. Nkanayevo. Ooh. Anyways, it means the corrupt one in the Zulu language. So they didn't believe him until he pulled a severed leg out of his bag.
Oh.
Sorry, dude. Sorry.
I carry all my severed legs.
Didn't mean to call you a liar. He then led officers to his rented home in the town of Estcourt, where officers found 8 human ears in a cooking pot, as well as other body parts in a suitcase. The healer confessed that he served body parts to customers after telling them the food was magic and would lead to success in life. Mbathas and his accomplice, not even trying it, who was 32 years old, was jailed for life for this woman's murder. Mbathas' confession also led to the arrests of 5 other men. Judge Peter Olson said they were guilty of the most heinous crime. He said, "What happened in this case is truly awful. It was the stuff of nightmares. How one would react to such circumstances is unpredictable. One may well want to unburden oneself of guilt, but later have second thoughts." I have no idea what that means. Mbatha's brother told the BBC at the time that his brother only moved into the house 2 months ago. "I had no idea that he kept human remains here because I don't live in the same yard." The woman who was killed, her bloody and torn clothes, which were identified by the family, were found among the human remains in the traditional healer's home. The crime left South Africa's traditional healers horrified. A representative from that group, from South Africa's traditional healer organization, said, "Ritual killings and the use of human tissues are not part of traditional healing. This angers us as traditional healers because we have to constantly defend our honest work." Now,
Wow.
there is an abundance of horror movies pertaining to cannibalism.
Yes.
The biggest ones I can think of are like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Hills Have Eyes, and there's like 84 movies on the Hills Have Eyes series.
Yes.
And in a sense, I mean, zombies are cannibals too, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Because they're human, so
Yeah.
to speak. But it is a real thing. Like, I don't know that there's any tribes that practice it anymore. And it's not like they only ate humans, but it was a ritual.
Right.
It's believed that the wealthy family of the Rockefellers, one of their kids, that's what happened to him on the island of New Guinea. He was in fact a bona fide explorer and adventurer dude, but it's believed he became like the Andre back in like, I don't know, 40s maybe 30s, I don't know. But yeah, so that's why I asked you, like, in that kind of situation.
It's hard to put yourself in that situation,
well, totally,
right?
and hopefully never.
Well, hopefully never.
But there was that whole movie called Alive about, it was like a Paraguayan, I think, soccer team. Their plane crashed in the Andes Mountains
Okay.
in like the 60s or 70s, and
Yeah.
they reverted to that. Like, they didn't kill people and then ate them. They ate their dead.
Right.
Which, like I said, I don't have any problem with it. Don't eat the brain. Not that you would, but that's how you get that prion disease, like mad cow and shit.
Right.
Um,
I did see that on Netflix or something the other day. That
Alive?
popped up. Yeah.
yeah. It also gets parodied really well in The Simpsons, too.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. So, yeah, that's my story of cannibalism.
Wow.
I've got
Yeah.
a scarier one in backup.
Do you?
Yeah. So, you got anything else for us?
Yes.
Yeah. We like Mel's stories.
Have you heard of the Mothman?
I have. Do you know? No, it's the wrong one.
That's not the same man. That's the
There's a
Muffin
movie
Man.
about Mothman Chronicles or something.
Yes, Mothman Chronicles.
I think that's what it's called.
No, Mothman. Hold on,
Prophecies.
Prophecies.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
But no, I know a little bit about it, but no, I'm no authority. But please proceed.
So the Mothman is actually based out of West Virginia.
Okay.
It's a creature that has risen from local appearances to the national stage as the leader in the cryptid revival of the last 20 years.
Right.
Cryptids are creatures whose existence is unproven, like Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster.
Yes.
On November 15th, 1966, Roger and Linda Scarberry and Steve and Mary Mallet were driving together on State Route 62 near the abandoned National Guard Armory building and power plant when they saw a menacing figure standing 6 to 7 feet tall. In the headlights, giant eyes shone bright red. Panic set in. Roger, the car's driver, sped away towards town, but the creature followed. According to these first eyewitnesses' accounts, the thing rose up like a helicopter. Though it looked like a clumsy runner, as they saw the power plant, they excelled in gliding, easily keeping pace, even as the car reached 100 miles per hour. So this thing kept up to them.
It can move.
Over the next few months, more than 100 sightings were reported. Some think it was a large bird, but others claim it looked like a man with wings and 2 prominent red eyes. Sightings of UFOs and strange men in black approaching witnesses have also been reported. Sightings of the Mothman continued for several years in and around the Point Pleasant area.
Yes.
Everything came to a head on December 15th, 1967, with the collapse of the Silver Bridge. The Silver Bridge connected Point Pleasant, West Virginia, and Ohio. Tragically, the collapse happened during rush hour traffic, and many of these traveling on the bridge were heading to and from doing their Christmas shopping that day. 46 people were killed in the accident. 2 of them never been found. After the collapse, the Mothman sightings turned from strange local story to eerie premonition. People began to say that maybe the creature was either trying to warn of the tragedy to come, or perhaps was involved in the failure of the bridge itself. Many believe this theory because the Mothman only began to be seen a year before the collapse. It's similar to the British legend of ghostly black dogs that are supposedly seen as an omen of the witness's untimely death.
Right.
There were reports of Mothman-type creatures in Moscow, Russia in the 1990s, which Russian UFO experts claim foreshadowed the 1999 Russian apartment bombings, which served as another example of the creature being associated with predicting a tragedy.
Yeah.
Most recently, there was a rash of Mothman sightings in the Chicago area in 2017, when 55 people voluntarily came forward and reported seeing a similar creature. Nowadays, the Mothman is not only the subject of countless books, shows, and documentaries, but also has its very own museum, which my husband went to, and festival. It has transformed into a sort of a mascot for Point Pleasant rather than a frightening figure, at least for locals. It's a mystery that remains unsolved to this day.
Ooh. Yeah, I have seen that movie.
I have not seen the movie. It's Richard Gere, isn't it?
I believe, I think you're right.
Yeah. I have not seen it, but I did when I was reading the story. I saw that he does have one.
And this is one of those things that I ain't buying it, but I think it's cool.
I think it's cool.
And the movie's cool.
Yeah?
I recommend watching it.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a Unsolved Mysteries did a story on it too.
Yes.
On their most recent season, I believe.
With Robert Stack.
Yep. And they talked about the Mothman.
Maybe, like moths, they're pretty annoying.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, they are.
Maybe he's or she, could be a lady, is pissed off. I'm not a Mothman. I'm a bat person.
Maybe. Maybe.
Don't call me a moth, you bunch of dicks.
Yeah, I know.
Knock your bridge down. Hey?
Yeah. So that's the Mothman. I think it fascinates me when I hear things like that.
Sure.
Because I'm like, what did people actually see? And the fact that there was 100 people afterwards that had similar sightings of things.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But then also you have to be like, what? Are people just making up stuff? Or are they thinking they see this now because somebody else said it?
Well, they have mass hysteria.
Yeah. But anyway, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. No, I recommend you watch that movie.
I will.
It's quite good.
I will.
Hey.
Yes.
Mel.
Rod.
Were you ever a fan of game shows?
Yeah, I don't mind game shows.
Mm-hmm. So, we have things. You mentioned Jeopardy earlier,
Mm-hmm. Family Feud.
Family Feud.
Love Family
Wheel
Feud.
of Fortune.
Mm-hmm.
I don't... Well, they might still make something similar to this on, like, the Game Show Network, which I don't get. There was a show called The Dating Game.
Yes.
You know of it?
Yes.
It was a pretty cool concept.
Yep.
Actually.
Yep.
So I am going to tell you about a very interesting incident with The Dating Game.
Okay.
Ready? Y'all sit on back now.
Like the OG dating game show, or is this a newly invented
The
one?
OG.
Okay.
Yeah, man. So this dude, Rodney, no relation, Alcala, he appeared on a 1978 episode of the hit TV game show The Dating Game.
It's a good year.
Executive producer Mike Metzger. Hey, I've got relatives that are Metzgers.
Do you
They're
know?
good people. Yeah. Hey, Charlotte. That's my cousin who's a Metzger.
Okay.
So executive producer Mike Metzger and his future wife, contestant coordinator Ellen Metzger, say they initially disagreed on whether Alcala should have been a contestant when he auditioned. He was attractive, and all the women were going to love him, Ellen Metzger told the show 2020. But her future husband felt differently, saying that he had a strange personality. He had a mystique about him that I found uncomfortable, said Mike, the show's executive producer. At the time, the technology did not exist for background checks or national databases. So nobody who worked on the show was aware that Alcala had a criminal history by this point. Ultimately, they decided to have Alcala on the show. David Greenfield, a producer on the game show when Alcala appeared on it, said that he'd grown up watching the show but didn't realize until he started working on it that many of the people who audition for it aren't looking for a date, but rather a chance to be on TV. That makes sense.
Fair. Yeah.
You know Vanna White
Yes.
from Wheel of Fortune?
Yes.
She was a contestant on The Price is Right before she was ever big.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have a picture of it somewhere. Like she's standing, behind on the contestants' row there.
Oh, okay.
Because that's how you would get recognized, right? All right, so carrying on. The show's format involved one bachelorette choosing which of three bachelors to go out on a date with after a questioning period in which the bachelors are hidden from view. It had become hugely popular during the 60s because there had never been a dating show of that nature, and people could live vicariously through either the bachelor or bachelorette, Greenfield said. When the 70s came around, the show's producer changed the show to match American culture at the time, and its popularity continued to rise. One of our edicts was to make the show much sexier and much more provocative than the show in the 60s, said Greenfield. Part of this meant making the Bachelorette's questions more open-ended in order to elicit raunchier responses.
Naturally.
Yeah. During the episode in which Alcala appeared, Bachelorette Cheryl Bradshaw asked him questions like, What's your best time? And I'm serving you for dinner. What are you called? And what do you look like? Alcala responded to the latter question saying, I'm called the banana, and I look good. Can you be a little more descriptive? Bradshaw asked Alcala. Peel me, he said, prompting the audience to laugh. In retrospect, Greenfield said, it sounds horrible, but at the time that's a good, solid answer. We were looking for raunchy, sexy answers, and that was one. Take it in context now. It's like, oh my God. Bradshaw ended up choosing Alcala at the end of the show. It was exactly what Alcala had planned, according to fellow contestant Jed Mills, who was Bachelor number 2 and sat next to Alcala during the episode. Mills described Alcala as creepy and said that when they were in the green room before the show, Alcala told him, I always get my girl. However, when Alcala was finally introduced to Bradshaw, Ellen Metzger said Bradshaw's excitement to him turned into a pretty lukewarm togetherness. The next day, she said Bradshaw called the show's office and spoke to her. She said, Ellen, I can't go out with this guy. There's weird vibes that are coming off of him. He's very strange. I am not comfortable. Is that going to be a problem? And of course, I said no. They were two of many bachelors and bachelorettes who never ended up on a date, although Greenfield said they would have had a chaperone if they followed through with it, like every couple that went on dates following their appearance on the show. When I watch the show now, it's hard for me to watch it without looking behind his eyes and knowing what this guy had to be thinking, Greenfield said. Just the evil behind the smile. There's sometimes where I can see it, but I think that's my mind working overtime because, again, I can't imagine anybody that would commit a crime and then purposefully go on television. Mm-hmm. Rodney Alcala was a repeat rapist and serial killer.
Jeez.
Who killed 5 women by the time he appeared on the dating game.
Oh my gosh.
And killed 3 more following the show. Though he may have had dozens more victims.
Wow.
At the time of his appearance on the dating game, he had already been charged for the attempted murder of an 8-year-old girl. By the time that Alcala was convicted of murdering Robin Samso in 1980 and sentenced to death, investigators had found a trove of evidence in his Seattle storage locker belonging to Alcala. There they found hundreds of photographs of unidentified women, girls, and boys, some of whom were nude or in compromising positions.
Jesus.
Now let's think about this for a second. This is not the internet. He didn't get these pictures online. Mm-hmm. He took them. Mm-hmm. Where else or he dealt with people who took them.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's no AI here, kids. Mm-mm. They also found jewelry that they believe Alcala kept as trophies from some of his victims, including a pair of gold ball earrings that matched the description of those worn by Robin on the day she disappeared. 4 years after he was convicted of murder and sentenced to death, Alcala appealed his case and won a new trial. He was tried, convicted, and sentenced to death a second time. His victims had ranged from age 12 to 31.
Jesus.
In 2001, he appealed yet again and won, putting a third trial into motion. Prosecutor Matt Murphy took on the case in 2003, after which he had the jewelry found in Alcala's storage locker re-examined for DNA. Authorities found that some of the DNA matched that of 4 other women who had been found dead or who had disappeared in the late 70s, confirming that Alcala was a serial killer police had suspected him to be. Alcala was 66 years old when he was convicted for these women's murders and sentenced to death following a 2010 trial in which he represented himself. Good move. While on California's death row, Rodney James Alcala, aged 77, died of natural causes at 1:43 a.m. on July 24th, 2021.
Wow.
So, I wonder if Miss Bradshaw...
She listened to her intuition.
Well, she's, yeah, like, they would have gone out by chaperone, right?
Yeah. That's
it's
wow.
still too close, man. That's coming too close.
Yeah, that intuition is such a big thing. And I feel like, especially for women, I think ours is a little bit higher because
I would say women's intuition, right?
Yes.
I don't think there's any scientific backing for that.
No.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not disputing what you're saying. Not at all. Science is not about providing answers. It's about finding answers.
No, but I mean, as a girl, obviously I'm speaking as a girl. I only know from speaking as a girl.
Are you a girl?
Yes, I am.
Oh, yeah.
My receptors go up very high if I feel like I'm unsafe. Because I'm constantly aware of my surroundings. Being a female, it's just the world that females typically have to live in.
Yeah, sadly.
And yes, it is. And I'm always scouring for people. Mm-hmm. And if a situation doesn't feel right, I try and listen to that.
Right.
You don't always do it, I suppose, but sometimes it's really strong.
Well, I mean, there's no price to pay for being wrong.
No.
Right. And I think this is, I'm inclined to agree with you. And I think what's maybe called intuition is, well, I guess that's it. Like, for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, women have had to take that approach. I mean, like it or not, you're the ones who get pregnant.
Yeah.
And for a long time, it was about, propagating your tribe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So women were often taken,
Yep.
for that purpose. So maybe it's like, I don't know, maybe it is something really ancient, akin to biological.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I can't explain it, but I've had this conversation with other females before,
Right.
and just relying on that, because I know that I've been in situations where I'm like, this is not a good place for me to be. I
Yeah.
don't feel safe. I need to get out of this situation.
Right.
So good on her for listening to that, because that's,
Well, but even the other contestant
yeah.
or the other dude, like he picked up on it too. So this guy was obviously putting that out there, But no, damn straight good for listening to her. And the show's not going to make them go up, because nobody's ever going to know how the date goes.
No, exactly.
Right? It's not
Exactly.
bloody Bachelorette or
Yeah, I was just going to
something.
say. I was just going to bring that up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you watch Bachelorette?
I do.
Oh my god! I actually know a couple of men
I'm
who watch it too.
Addicted. I can't help it.
Yes, you can.
Right from the very beginning, I have not missed a season. I've watched every Bachelor, every Bachelorette, and now there's like Golden Bachelor, Golden
does that mean?
Bachelorette. Older.
Oh, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
When you've been watching it, have you ever cried?
On to the next
No further
question,
questions,
please.
Your Honor. No further questions. Yeah, it's so weak.
Yeah, I don't cry, but
You
I got
lie.
emotional.
I'm going to abuse you to no end over that. Like, not physically. I mean, I'm just going to tease you and pick on you, as you deserve.
That I cry over the Bachelorette.
Yeah.
The Bachelor.
No, it's okay. I won't do that. So what do you think of Rodney Alcala?
Well, I don't.
No, he's a dick. But yeah, if you look at the Wikipedia page for him, there may well have been hundreds of victims.
Jesus.
So weird.
Disgusting.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that ends the scariness.
The scariness.
Yeah.
Ooh. Just made me think of this.
Yeah.
I read a book years ago that was called The Gift of Fear.
Okay.
And I think I still have it at home. And it was fantastic.
What's it about?
What's that?
What's it about?
It is about intuition and listening to that.
Well, I mean, fear is, is highly useful. Like,
Yes. Yeah.
That's another.
You should dig it out and read it
It's
again.
like pain.
Yeah.
If you put your hand in the fire and you don't feel any pain, you can be like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, you are destroying your skin. Well, fear is the same thing. You feel like, whoa, I'm getting triggered. You know what I mean? But
Yep.
not in the evil or the horrible, boring, modern use of that word.
Yes.
But,
Yes.
fear trigger.
Yeah.
Fight or flight
Yeah.
kind of stuff. That'd be cool. See if you can find that book.
Yeah, I will.
Cool, eh? Yeah.
We got real deep and dark there for a bit.
I like deep and dark. And you know what we didn't talk about even
Don't
one
even
bit.
ruin it. No, we're not even gonna.
Okay, but we are going to go do that.
Yeah, we are.
Ah. Wee. Yeah, so you got something to say to our peoples?
Yes.
Yes, you do.
Please go check out our website. Yeah. Go check it out. theabsurdpodcast.ca. Go look at what we got there. You'll see some of the links to our streaming services, and the popular ones like Spotify, Apple, Amazon,
YouTube. Deezer.
Deezer. You just want to say Deezer.
I do like saying that word.
But yeah, go check it out.
Yes, please. And if you have a moment, please take a moment and give us a rating and a review.
Yeah.
And we also ask that you share, that you tell your people, your friends, your family, people you don't even know, people you don't even like,
That's right.
to listen to our podcast.
That's right.
Because Mel, we enjoy doing this, don't we?
Yeah.
God, we so do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be great. So hopefully you have a safe. Well, by the time this is going to be out before Halloween.
Yes, it will.
I hope you have a safe and wonderful Halloween.
Eat lots of chocolate.
Yeah, scary in every way, but fun as well. Nothing.
Go scare a child.
Yeah,
I'm
but
going to do that.
Only mean children.
Like my own, but.
Yeah, don't scare strangers' children. It's bad. Right. So take care of yourselves and one another.
Bye.
Bye.
The Absurd Podcast is written, produced, and recorded by Rod and Mal.